All right, normally I don't do this and make videos addressing anyone in the sector. I play the role more of a troll and get my shit off in the chat. Um, so I was basically watching some channels, you know, sector surfing, if you will, and I came across a video that I was playing that was on Miss L show, and I had to speak on this. Not that it was necessary, but I wanted to speak on this because it just sounded kind of crazy to me. I guess she felt a type of way because I was in Harley Quinn's on her community wall, and I had posted a couple roasts aimed at Miss L, who I have no personal beef or gripe with. Really, to be honest, I did it because that's just me contributing to the fuckery and getting my shit off. The same like anyone else. So it is what it is. No, nothing personal. But let's speak on two things she said since she took her time to, mention my name in her live stream. Miss L. Um, well, for starters, I don't know where you got that from. That when I tried to say hi to you in somebody's chat, I don't even know whose chat this was. It had to have been a live show someone was playing. Maybe it was your show. I'm not sure. I don't know where you got that angle from. And because this is the sector, once you create a narrative, it's out there to run with. Even if you have and present evidence to prove otherwise, it just is what it is. It comes to the territory. But from me now saying it to you, I've never. That makes no sense. You must really take me as someone or one of these incels in this sector who you think if I didn't get someone to wave at me or they say hi to me in the chat, that made me feel a type of way. At least on YouTube. But no, that didn't shake up. I don't know what you're talking about. That's why that's kind of weird. That was extremely weird. And that holds no base to anything concrete because it's just uh an accusation that you're making, which again, I don't even know where that came from. The second thing, you also made mention because obviously you've watched my videos and streams of that nature before, so you're someone who's checked in a certain way or another pertaining to me. You spoke on truck drivers and truck driving being a terrible job, which I take no offense to. I mean, after all, you don't know me from a can of paint no more than I know you from a can of paint and what we put out here on this social platform. So to say that is to say, what you do and what you have as far as your work history or current career. You do what you do to take care of the livelihood and what very little livelihood that seems to be from what you present about how much you hate your work and, wiping doo-doo. Definitely no one wants to do that. I mean, it is what it is. But it's low tier work, whether it's in a hospital or whatever setting that you may have to do that. Unfortunately, it's low tier work in a certain sense that it might be something needed for people, unfortunately, who are incontinent and having certain disabilities and things of that nature, which there is some things positive to say about that. You take on a job that is, very intimate and personal with a person's hygiene and to make sure you're contributing to the upkeep of their quality of life. So I have to give you that. But if I have to give you that, you'll also have to, in return, if you're using logic, to give me back this. When you refer to truck drivers, any person who drives a CMV, commercial motor vehicle, you understand something. When you speak against people who do that type of work, you're speaking against the very person who, in fact, transfers and transports the texture paper materials that they bring in and drop off to your work site, whether it be indirectly or directly from the manufacturer or the people who are receiving the materials you need, let alone the many countless items you have in your immediate work area that are needed to be transported. We all know if we can use our brains, nothing gets in anyone's hands in this country, let alone the world, unless it's brought to you by land, sea, or air. Trucking being one of those avenues where we receive and send and ship items and merchandise and things of that nature that are required for everyday living in this country, let alone the world. That doesn't even have to be spoken on. So when you speak on me like that and you speak on truckers, you understand you're speaking on that trucker who bought you that toilet paper to wipe that ass at your job, okay? You make sure you understand if you didn't have that toilet paper to wipe the boo-boo out of the person or people whom you have to do that to for your employment, if the job you have didn't have those work utensils and items in order for you to utilize to do your job, you probably would be fired. because they wouldn't have the materials they need in order for you to perform your job, let alone what could be scrubs and other items of that nature. I'm sorry, nothing in your job immediately gets to your location in your job without a truck bringing it in, and it's transported through various forms of transportation and other logistics that may not even be mentioned here. I think we can be fair and say that. So when you speak to me, because I know you're used to speaking to people with low tier backgrounds that we or people openly share on this platform, you know, they come on here lazy, probably not working, don't have a, you know, a career based, career driven, a lot of, you know, different type of people. You're not speaking to one of those. No shade. You're not speaking to one of those kind of people. And I don't want to make this a habit to address you because, or just anyone in general from the sector, because, you know, the last thing I want to do, even if I was to be the type of person to start making videos towards people in the sector, is attract indirectly the attention of such as someone, what's that guy's name? The Glass Glizzy guy? Like, I don't remember his name. But when he felt the need to look at my channel, he kind of got himself involved in something I wasn't even really addressing him about, and it made it about him. So that's why I don't really address the sector. I share my vlogging, and what I share is what I'm proud of. The same way some people who, you know, do the same thing or similar, if not greater or better, they do the same thing. They share information about themselves, opening up themselves to the world, and let alone this sector, to little small bits and details about, you know, ourselves and things. And, you know, that's harmless. But that's where I wanted to kind of address you about. And then the other thing you said that was interesting to me, you made a mention, you also made a point to mention something about me going to a concert. Sweetheart, and then the other thing, I went by myself, or front row concert for one, or whatever way you put it. Sweetheart, listen, I wasn't by myself. I don't have to prove that, but I will say this. Just think of it this way. Even if I was by myself, which wasn't the case, but let's just say I was front row. I was front row at an event that, well, because I bought those tickets second hand on a resale app, I had to pay, I don't know, double, maybe triple the value of them for my comfort. So again, you're not speaking to someone who there's things I do by myself, and there's things I share time with a person or people that I love. And I'm sorry, you're not speaking to someone who looks for validation from women on YouTube. It's fun because we get to trade, I guess, little vlogs, if you will, and things like that to kind of, you know, share some insight on things we like, things, interests, and that sort of thing. But no, this isn't one of those people. No, it cost me a pretty penny to go to that show. And then the countless times I've done this, not even just for that specific group, but for other events. I mean, I've seen, well, if you want to talk about going to a show by myself, I was in a whole other country at one occasion. And this is when I was by myself, where I paid a pretty friggin' penny to see Mary J. Blige and Nas in front row. And that was something I wanted to do because, you know, at that point in time, it was a spur of the moment kind of thing. And when you try to include people in certain things, sometimes it doesn't always work because it ends up being people are busy. People have life schedules that might always not correspond with the timing of things. But, you know, such is life. Things happen. So I just wanted to get that off my chest and keep it. It's been longer than what I wanted to spend on this topic and address that. And like I said, I don't want to really necessarily have a back and forth with you, but I may get on a panel and roast you. I'm not going to lie. I may get on a panel and roast you. But nothing personal. If I do. I don't. If I do, then I do. If I don't, then I don't really give a shit. So there's my clap back to what you had to say. And this is, James the God, and I'm out.